There is nothing that will destroy your confidence more than having puny, small arms. Believe me, I was in the same boat, but I do have some good news. You can transform your arms in just 20 days if you implement these 3 tips that will accelerate your arm growth significantly. Welcome back to another video. I'm Brendan Martinez. I'm currently getting my doctorate in physical therapy. Today we're going to be going over 3 tips that the latest science suggests will accelerate your arm growth, and I'm not only going to discuss what they are, but also explain how you can directly implement them into your training routine. The first tip is to contract your triceps. Now you're probably confused because this is a video on how to get bigger biceps, but let me explain. When you are performing a curl, if you contract your triceps at the bottom of an exercise, it will fully elongate the biceps, which will put much more tension on the muscle, which ultimately is the goal. When a muscle is fully elongated, the muscle needs to then work harder on the next rep to initiate the movement, and this is going to lead to more muscle fibers being recruited. Making this small change can extend your elbow up to 5 degrees more than it normally would, and it will make a huge difference and ultimately lead to more muscle growth in the long run. Now let's talk about tip number 2, which is to prevent flexing your wrists. There isn't anything inherently wrong with flexing your wrist during a bicep exercise. However, this compensation is typically seen near the end of a set, and this is when the biceps start to fatigue. The forearms are trying to assist with the movement. If you try to keep the palm of your hand parallel with the ceiling, this will keep most of the tension on the biceps and prevent the forearms from assisting. An exercise that we can perform to visualize this wrist position are waiter curls. All you need to do is to grab a dumbbell and rest the flat side of the dumbbell on both your hands. It's important that you just rest the dumbbell on your hands rather than hooking your fingers around the dumbbell, and this once again will bring the forearms more into the equation and they're going to take more of the work. Then you're going to curl the weight up, but when you're doing this, once again, we want to make sure that the top of the dumbbell is parallel with the ceiling. And if you do this exercise properly, your biceps will be doing all of the work and your forearms will pretty much not be assisting at all. And this principle could be applied to just about every bicep exercise. In this example, you can see how during a normal bicep curl, I'm keeping my wrist parallel with the ceiling and having my wrist in a more extended position. This will lead to more time under tension and ultimately more muscle growth. Also, I just want to preface that if you have any history of a previous wrist injury, I'd be very cautious with implementing this tip, and I would start at a very low weight and then slowly progress as your wrist can tolerate. Alright, let's jump into the last tip, which is to stop moving your elbows forward. This is another very common compensation that you see on just about every bicep exercise. In this video, you can see how my elbows are moving forward as I bring the weight up. This compensation once again normally happens when the bicep gets very fatigued, and moving your elbows forward is going to recruit that anterior deltoid or the front deltoid just a little more to help with the movement. Instead, make sure you keep your elbows tucked and at your side throughout the entire movement. This will keep the load on the biceps, which is ultimately where we want it. And if you find yourself doing this compensation, you likely need to lower the weight, which is something that a lot of people don't like to hear. This principle is something that I've covered in previous videos, but ultimately for muscle growth, the most important thing to focus on is time under tension and your form rather than the weight that you're performing the exercise. To keep your elbows at your side, it's going to make all the difference, and I promise you it's going to lead to so much more growth in the future. If you implement all 3 of these tips that were covered in today's video and you're consistent, I promise you it's going to accelerate your arm growth and you're going to see a big difference in your arms in only 20 days. I highly recommend using either a tape measure or taking a picture before you implement these tips, and then once again retake them or remeasure after the 20 days just so you can track your progress. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and also don't forget to hit push notifications to make sure you never miss an upload. Be sure to check out some of the other videos that are about to pop up onto your screen, and other than that, I'll see you in the next video.